Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Okay, so what do we have today? We have some Gladys Knight drama, Dr. Umar potentially losing his school, women who were born women having to prove that they were born women, Diddy suing News Nation, Ariel Mitchell Kid, and Courtney Burgess for $100 million, Cardi B saying that Jay-Z gave her his stamp of approval for her new song, and DL Hugley saying Trump's repeated attacks on black-led cities like Washington, D.C. is no accident. It's the same black boogeyman playbook used for decades to spread fear and distract from the truth. Alright, so do me a favor and hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that too, as we get into it. The other day, Gladys Knight's son came out and said that he had some serious concerns about his mother, because according to her son, Gladys Knight is experiencing some serious cognitive declines and she really shouldn't be on stage. However, he says that her taskmaster husband keeps her out there performing day and night. As a matter of fact, Gladys Knight's son says it got so bad that one night after a performance, Gladys wandered out of her hotel and was walking around the streets and didn't know who she was, and the only reason they found her is because she wandered into a different hotel, and the people who work at that hotel, even though she couldn't answer any questions, were able to use her cell phone to call her daughter. Now, Gladys' son says that they tried to talk to the husband, but he's not listening. So, him and his sister have contacted the Department of Human Services to investigate the situation.
I'm extremely concerned.
Gladys Knight, a musical force for over 70 years, but behind the legacy,
I don't want my mom out on tour, on a tour bus, wondering where she's at.
her family says something bad is happening to her and she doesn't even know it. Her son filing a DHS complaint accusing Gladys's husband of elder abuse, forcing her to go on tour, work long hours, knowing that her cognitive health is declining.
He's dealing with my mother. This is my mama.
Now, after Tia Kemp heard what was going on with Gladys Knight, she was like, hold up, I got to address this. Because one thing we're not finna do is have Gladys all messed up in these streets.
Gladys Knight and her pips. Let me tell you something. Whoever her husband is and her family is, she 80 years old. It's time for her to go sit down. I don't know who's in charge and got her on this tour, but I seen the videos and I saw her son speaking up about the husband got her on tour and she's declining in her health, and she was somewhere out in New York, didn't know where she was at, left the hotel room wandering around at 80 in the middle of the night. Let me tell you something, man. That lady should be home eating some tuna macaroni salad with crackers and drinking some lemonade, sitting in her rocker chair from Cracker Barrel on her porch. Do you hear me? I'd be a motherfucking damn if any bitch gonna have me 80 running around on a motherfucking stage with sequins on and a flouncy ass wig laid on my motherfucking neck, cause all my motherfucking hair gray and gone for some fucking goddamn concert ticket money. Oh, you better go dig up my motherfucking goddamn retirement, or bitch, you better get out there. My churns better go take my songs and repeat them on the stage like I did for 50 years and go get us some motherfucking money. Cause any bitch put me on the motherfucking stage at 80, bitch, I run my scooter into your shin. I would run my fucking scooter into your motherfucking shin, ho. I would run my motherfucking scooter bumper into your shin and fuck it up. I ain't lying. I will run my scooter into your motherfucking shin and hope it hurt like hell.
My girl said, if you have me up on that stage at 80, I will run my mothercuffing scooter into your mothercuffing shin. And you know what? She's absolutely right. If Gladys Knight's son is in fact telling the truth and his mother is in fact experiencing cognitive declines to the point where she was out in these New York streets roaming around without a guardian, then somebody in the family really needs to step in. And honestly, it should have been the husband. But if he's over there propping Gladys up like this is Weekend at Bernie's and throwing her up on that stage just to get a paycheck, then this right here is highly problematic. And even though I'm not a fan of bringing the government in to personal family business, because that's how you end up with a Wendy Williams situation, it appears that Gladys may need a welfare check. Listen, let me know down below. Do you think that Gladys Knight's kids did the right thing by involving DHS, or do you think that's something that they should have dealt with in-house? Regardless, I'm gonna need Dionne Warwick, Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Patti LaBelle, and everybody else over to Gladys Knight's house to check on Gladys. You know why? Because that is what friends are for. Now, in response to Gladys's son's claims, Gladys's fourth husband, William Billy McDowell, says Gladys's son always does this ish. As soon as he sees that they're over there happy, he comes with some BS, which is why Gladys Knight had to sue her own son a few years ago to get her name off of a restaurant that he started called Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffles after he failed to pay $1 million in payroll taxes at the restaurant and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Now, during a text exchange between Gladys's husband and her son, the one who called DHS, Gladys's husband said, "What in God's name would possess you to do such an evil thing and ruin a week of laughter and fun for your mother and her grandkids and her great-grandkids? I told you, the door is open anytime for you to come and check on your mom. This is just a repeat of what happened when you had the restaurant. There's nothing but good here. Be part of it. She's happy, loved, and all she wants is happiness and peace. Whatever we have and she has separately, you guys can have when we're gone. Our lives are not long. Just let these years be in peace." And then he goes on to say, "I want to move forward. What I'm saying to you is that sending the cops and social service people over here will endanger what she's trying to maintain. Anything other than that is irrelevant to me. Just love her, take care of her, and whatever you guys want to do, just let me know. I'm happy to support it." Gladys Knight's husband also let it be known that Gladys Knight has been diagnosed with something called sundown syndrome, which is a form of dementia. And it means that in the morning she's pretty aware, but as the day goes longer and night begins to fall, she becomes more and more forgetful. Listen, this is tough because it begs a few questions. 1, who knows best and should have more say? The fourth husband or the kids? And 2, when she was diagnosed with sundown syndrome, should the husband have forced her to retire even if she didn't want to for her own safety and well-being? I mean, I understand that she's the moneymaker, but once Gladys started to forget who she was and where she was, you have to forget about the money and focus on making sure that Gladys is okay. But, as we all know, some people can't forget about the money, and that brings us to Dr. Umar. After weeks of being under intense scrutiny for internet panhandling and allegedly scamming, Dr. Umar, I Need More Money Tunze, jumped back online and notified the public that the city of Wilmington, Delaware, will be auctioning off the school buildings that he purchased in 2019 in less than 20 days if he doesn't come up with approximately $40,000 to pay for outstanding debts related to the property, such as the water bill. According to the paperwork that the city of Delaware taped up onto the doors of FDMG, which people are now calling Family the Money Gone, Umar owes the city for water, sewage charges, exterior improvement charges, vacant registration fees, civil penalties, and interest accrued.
On August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a notice to auction off the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy campus for unpaid vacant property registration fees. I repeat, on August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a lien to auction off the campus we bought, the campus we've been working on for 6.5 years. I was not notified of this. We were not notified of this. This past weekend, without an email, this past weekend, without a letter in the mail, this past weekend, without a phone call, the city of Wilmington put a notice on the door handle of both of our schools, informing me that if we don't pay the past due vacant property registration fees and outstanding utilities by the 25th of Black August, they will sell our campus. Brothers and sisters, can I ask you a question? Why were we not notified that they were going to try to sell our campus?
Now, according to Dr. Umar, he didn't know nothing about this, and Delaware never contacted him about these bills. However, even though Delaware never contacted him about the bills, 4 months ago, when Delaware contacted him about the bills, he tried to work out a deal.
Brothers and sisters, it gets worse. Back in April, when I found out about the overdue vacant property registration fees, I had asked the city of Wilmington if they could retroactively apply our nonprofit waiver. According to the nonprofit waiver for the city of Wilmington, if you are a nonprofit organization, they will waive your vacant property registration fees for 4 years. If you are a nonprofit organization in the city of Wilmington, they will waive your nonprofit vacant property registration fees for 4 years. If they would have applied our nonprofit vacant property registration waiver, we would owe absolutely nothing.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's very obvious that Dr. Umar never took Business 101, because if he did, he would understand that just because you ask the city of Delaware if they can retroactively apply the waivers does not mean that they have to apply the waivers, because it was your responsibility when you purchased those buildings to apply for the waiver. And now for business lesson number 2. If the city of Delaware did not contact you via letter, email, phone call, or whatever, and tell you that they accepted your application and they were giving you the waiver that would retroactively cover those bills, then guess what, sir? You are responsible for paying those bills. But that's not the point. Waiver this, waiver that. My question is this. Umar, how come you don't have $40,000 in the bank to cover these bills? As a black community, we have donated over $1.5 million to Dr. Umar and FDMG Academy. He spent about 400 and change on these buildings. So my question is this. Where in the world is the rest of the money? Even if Umar invested $500K back into the buildings, he should still have a good $600K sitting in the bank. And he can't say that he can't pay him because his bank accounts are frozen, because according to his own words, he was in communication with the city of Delaware since April. Listen, if this isn't the straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to Umar, I don't know what is. Because if Umar ends up losing these buildings, then that means that the black community actually invested and donated $1.6 million into nothing. Listen, let me know down below. For all of my people out there who still rock with Dr. Umar, I mean, you rocking with him till the Pan-African wheels fall off. If he loses these buildings and these buildings go back to the state of Delaware, are you still rocking with him after this? Or will you have gotten to the point where when he comes back online asking for more money, you're over there like, I think you need to call Shango. Now, check this out. The other day, a woman walked into a restaurant and then she went to use the women's bathroom. When she went to use the women's bathroom, one of the employees at the restaurant walked in the bathroom and was like, wait a minute, I don't think you're a woman. I need proof. And if you can't furnish proof that you were born a woman right now, then I'm gonna need you to exit the women's bathroom. Now, the woman who was followed into the bathroom, who actually was born a woman but identifies as LGBTQ, says that in order to get the staffer off her back, she eventually had to open her shirt and show her tig old bitties in order to prove that she was in fact a woman.
So our client Jerica, she was at Buffalo Wild Wings with her friend and they were just enjoying dinner. And Jerica had to use the bathroom, so she went to use the women's room as she always does. And her waitress came in, banged on the stall door, accused her of being a man or a boy in the women's room, forced her out of the stall, and eventually made her unzip her hoodie to show that she has breasts. She was wearing a shirt, but that she wasn't allowed to leave the bathroom until that happened. It's really upsetting. It should never happen to anyone. Our client's only 18 years old. She's still in high school.
This wasn't the first time something like this happened, but this is like the worst time. Because other people, like, they just say, like, this is a girl's restroom, and they just go on about their day. But this one, like, she kept it going. She was, like, mad screaming. Like, she made me feel, like, very uncomfortable. Like, now, like, after that, like, I just don't like going in public bathrooms. Like, I just hold it in. And now, like, I just think, like, oh, I'm going to get harassed. I'm going to keep getting harassed like this.
She should be able to use the bathroom in peace in any public bathroom without being nervous.
Okay, so let me see if I can break this down. 1, as a woman, if I go to use the bathroom, do not follow me into that bathroom under any circumstances. 2, if I walk into the stall, do not speak to me while I'm in that stall unless you're knocking on like the stall wall to ask if there's some tissue over there. And 3, as a woman who was born a woman, why in a cuff do I have to prove to you that I'm a woman? Let me tell you something. I wouldn't have shown that chick my tig-o bitties. Instead, I'd have shown her my foot. Tell me something. For all my ladies out there, if you're using a public restroom and somebody comes knocking on the door talking about, excuse me, I need proof that you're not a man, are you going to dignify that person with a response? Now, you may or may not have already heard this, but Diddy was sitting in jail and he was thinking, you know what, I'm finna get all my money back. So Diddy has now filed a $100 million lawsuit against News Nation, Ariel Mitchell Kidd, and Courtney Burgess. According to Sean Combs and his legal team, Ariel Mitchell Kidd and her client Courtney Burgess are a bunch of two-bit lying swindlers who defamed his character for self-promotion and personal gain by lying and saying that they have at least 8 videos of him engaging in inappropriate behavior with what they deemed were underage persons. And Diddy also says the News Nation is on the hook and is also liable for defamation because they gave these two liars a platform and propagated the narrative that he's the devil.
Those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women. How many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if
Appeared
they
to be.
were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them.
Listen, I hate to say it, but unless Courtney Burgess and his attorney, Ariel Mitchell Kidd, can find 8 videos of Diddy doing something that Diddy's not supposed to be doing, then Diddy is going to win $100 million. And Ashley Banfield and her homeboy Chris Cuomo over there are just going to have to find some new jobs because News Nation is only worth $55 million. So if Diddy gets the whole $100 million, he's going to own News Nation. And I know, somebody's going to come in the comment section like, nah, Sauce, he ain't going to win. Listen, I have told you from the beginning, you can't just get up on these platforms and say whatever you want. Now, a lot of people on these platforms get away with it because a lot of these celebrities don't have time to be like suing broke people. But Diddy has nothing but time. And the mistake that News Nation made is that they fell into the trap of getting their news from YouTube instead of going out and doing the work like real journalists and trying to find out the truth. See, it's one thing when some rando on YouTube says something. That's very different than Chris Cuomo, Anderson Cooper, Rachel Maddow, and Don Lemon saying it because those news reporters' names carry a certain amount of weight and you expect them as journalists to have a certain level of credibility, which means that Ashley Banfield and Chris Cuomo really shouldn't have had 2 unvetted randos with no proof sitting up on their shows. You see, Don didn't do it. Don didn't do it because Don knows better. Anyhow, Cardi B is back and she's feeling real good about her new song that she's getting ready to drop called Imaginary Player. And part of the reason why she's feeling real good about the song is because she sampled Jay-Z's Imaginary Player. Cardi says that after receiving a sample, she had to work real hard on her lyrics to make sure that she dropped that heat. But now that she spit straight fire on the track and she's gotten Jay-Z's approval to use it, she now feels that she has a banger.
There was a lot of hip hop heads in the building today, and they heard Imaginary Players, and they absolutely love it. And I was so happy because I don't think you guys understand how many. Well, the song is kind of long. First thing for I don't know if you guys can see, the song is kind of long, and I took my time with this song because this song is like a staple for me. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta make sure that this song is good because I have to fucking get it approved by the one and only. And if he didn't approve it, I probably wouldn't even feel a certain type of way neither, because it would have been like, okay, maybe I just had to come a little bit harder. But I'm glad that I came hard and he loved it and everybody else loved it. And somebody came up to me and they said, I'm not even gonna lie, when you announced that you was doing Imaginary Players, I was a little nervous, but you ate that. And I was like, yay. So I'm really excited about that. It's a very hip-hop record, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Now, after Cardi B let everybody know that Hov was over there listening to her song and he gave her the thumbs up, a whole lot of people had something to say. For example, one person said, I'm actually excited for this one. Hopefully the momentum for the album picks up. And then somebody else said, getting an approval from Jay out of respect is a big deal. Can't wait to hear her version. Imaginary Players is one of my faves. And then after that, somebody else came through and said, I love this for her. For real. Hov's approval is a big deal. Is it? I mean, back in 1994, when Hov was serious about rapping, yeah, maybe his approval would have been a big deal. But now, I have a feeling that Hov would sign off on almost anything, especially that Cardi B made, just to get a check. But with that being said, I'm not a hater, so I'm over here hoping that Cardi B actually gets a win. I mean, for real. When she drops that track, I'm hoping that it sounds like Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Rakim came together and formed like Voltron to sit down and write a rap song that is commensurate with the beat. However, I know darn well that we're probably going to get like 5 P words, a couple of C words. She's going to mention a purse that she has right now, and the rest of her rap is going to be about her kitty and her cat. Now, I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong. Listen, let me know down below. Do you think I'm wrong? I mean, maybe it's just me and I'm overly critical when it comes to rap, but when you tell me that you spit fire on a track, I'm expecting Raekwon's Purple Tape. I don't want to hear, it's up and stuck, and it's up and stuck, and it's up and stuck. Anyhow, DL Hugley's not happy about Trump federalizing the police in DC because, according to DL, Trump's repeated attacks on black-led cities like DC is no accident. It's the same black boogeyman playbook used for decades to spread fear and distract from the truth, like Epstein.
Did you notice that during Trump's press conference, even the graphs he used talking about crime was demonstrative that crime is down? DC has had a precipitous drop in crime rates, in murders and violent crimes. As a matter of fact, the cities he mentioned have all two things in common. One, they're led by black mayors, and two, they're experiencing unprecedented drops in crime. And he knows it. But he also knows, no one's going to pay attention to that, he also knows that all you have to do is conjure up the specter of the black boogeyman, and the American population will just automatically go along with it. LA had a 60-year low in murders. What Baltimore, the mayor of Baltimore is doing is amazing and has caused precipitous drops. Chicago, the mayor, but they're black. And he knows that all you have to do is conjure up the specter of the black boogeyman and it'll be okay. It'll get you off the fact that the economy is tanking, that immigration is in tatters, that the Epstein files haven't been released. So all you have to do is either specifically say or infer black, and people will buy it. DC is not even in the top 25 in crime. Most of the states, if you look at the top 10, all but 2 of those cities are in states Trump won. But he didn't want to talk about that. And if you're worried about crime, if that's what you worry about, then there'll be a whole lot of other places you start with. Memphis is one of the only cities in America that hasn't had a drop in crime. It's had an increase, but that's in the state you won. That's in the state he won, so he's not going to worry about that. All you have to do in this country is conjure up the specter of crime and connect it to black people, and America will buy it. So whenever you're in trouble, your economic policy is tanking, your immigration policy is off the rails, and people are wondering why your administration seems to be shielding the news of people connected with a pedophile. You know, if you don't want to talk about that, always bet against black.
They got the whole force out this bad boy. They pulled up in minivans everywhere.
See, now, that right there doesn't make any kind of sense. What do you need all of those police for? Anyhow, I'd be interested to see if all of those police were also dispersed to the gentrified areas of DC. I mean, really, do you also have 40 cops standing around on the street watching a whole bunch of preppy white guys in blue shirts and khakis with sandals? That's what I want to see, because if you're gonna police DC, don't just police the chocolate parts. So, after DL Hugley said what he said, a whole lot of people weighed in the comments. And one person said, Trump doesn't want to solve the problem of crime. He only wants to create a sound clip to post besides the down statistics, spin it in a few months, and take credit for the crime being down in DC. Again, rewriting black history. So, let us not forget that these black mayors had already reduced crime to 30-year lows. And then, somebody else said, he's deflecting, trying to get black people hyped up since he couldn't rattle us any other way. You're right, his base will hear black people, and the next thing you know, they'll forget about all the chaos he has going on. And then, last but not least, somebody else came through and said, yet another distraction from the Epstein files. He's right about crime. There in DC is a 34-count felon living in a White House. There are unlimited numbers of RS, PDF files, and actual assaulters, including himself, thieves, etc., in his administration. Yo, do me a favor and let me know down below. Do you think DL Hugley is right when he says that Trump isn't doing anything more than using the black boogeyman playbook? And last but not least, before I go, let me ask you guys a question because, I think it's good to get to know the type of people who actually pay attention to the source. Alright, so here's the question. When your family comes to visit from out of town and then they're getting ready to leave, are you the type of person who's sitting down on that couch eating a sandwich who waves to them like, yeah, see you next time, and you don't get up? Or are you the type of person who walks them to the door, then you walk them outside to the car, and then you walk them all the way down the driveway like this?
See y'all. Alright. Alright, I'll see y'all. Alright. Alright. See y'all. Alright. See y'all. See y'all. Alright. I'll see y'all. Alright. Y'all take care. Alright. Y'all take care. Let me know when y'all make it.
Okay, bye.
Y'all be safe. Alright. Alright. Y'all take care. Alright. Alright now. Alright. Y'all get home safe. Alright. Alright. Y'all take care. Take it out. Alright. Alright, Doc. You good? Stay home. Alright, Doc. See y'all later.
Listen, I gotta admit, I'm one of those people who will walk you outside, walk you down the driveway, tap on the trunk 3 times, and be like, alright now. Call me when you get home, alright now, and follow you like halfway down the street, talking through the window as if we didn't just get finished having like an 8-hour conversation in the house. Let me know, are you the same type of person? Anyhow, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.